worked out. I was actually admiring how nice my hair looked until just now. When I started doing the soap and went in way too wet. I had to add more, and now I have a ridiculous amount of perfect lather. So, one of those happy accidents. I'm using Murphy and McNeil's Pisca and the Kodiak base today, which again I'm getting low on. So anytime they want to do another run of that, fine with me. Using the PAA Amber Aerolite. And we're going to do ourselves a little razor battle today. So it's Wednesday, late Wednesday morning now. And I did my last shave late Monday night and just put that up today. And came up with the inspiration for today's shave in that video. So I'll post that here, but it was my Merica review. So today we're doing the Wet Shaving Club's Merica razor against the Henson, what is it, AL13, 18, 17 I think, plus. And initially I had some pause this morning about whether I wanted to do the plus, which is the aggressive razor offering, or the plus, which is the medium and more so the flagship offering, I feel like. But I have not used this yet, whereas I have used this, and I've used this plenty of times to know the shave results. So I thought that these would be more interesting. So why these two razors when they're so different? First of all, the Henson is aluminum, made in Canada, has a long aluminum handle, and you can get it in 3 different settings. Not the plus at the time of this video. From Henson, you have to get that from a third party, but you can get the mild and the medium there. And then you've got the Merica, which is made in America by Yates, technically. Shorter handle, stainless steel. I'll weigh them off camera. Significantly different in weight there. So why? Well, they both come in at $70. And for most wet shavers, I alluded to this in the last video, you're gonna come in, you're gonna do your research, you're gonna read Edwin Jagger, DE89, and you're gonna read Mercure, something or other, usually the 34C, maybe the 23C, but something along those lines. You know, you're not gonna usually go out and buy yourself a Rex Ambassador, because especially if you're coming from cartridges, which were relatively inexpensive, but considering how often you had to purchase replacements for the heads and everything, whereas you're spending, in some cases, literally pennies now on razor blades, if you've come this far. But so I think of it this way, you know, usually those are going to run you $40, those aforementioned razors. So then you think about doubling that to go to the next style when you're ready, and you're looking at, in my opinion, the Henson and the Merica, which both come in at $70. So we'll do the Merica on this side, and we're gonna get it going. Both of them have second use Persona blades, and I'm using second use to make sure I didn't get any duds. It's just a nice razor right there. Look at that. Oh yeah. See, both of these razors, the other thing they have in common are they can handle a good amount of growth, but I think I don't know, I had like 4 or 5 days growth when I used the Merica for the first time. And I was asking a lot of it. It handled it really nicely, but I was asking a lot of it. It's not one that I would necessarily consider to use the long amount of growth. Now this can also handle it, but it's so light, and with the coarseness of my beard growth, it just is asking too much of it. It'll do it, it's just not comfortable. So even though this is a plus plus plus, I would still say this is like a 3-day growth razor. Like this should be in its sweet spot. I've got about what, 2.5 days of growth, 1.5 days of growth. I don't know. Around, let's just split the difference. Let's say 2 days of growth here. So using the Henson. Yeah. Flip. Didn't have to flip with the Merica. Keep that in mind. And I love this razor. Don't even, like, I bought this. I would not have bought this if I didn't love it. I got to borrow the original version of the plus plus plus, which was offered in a very small scale by, what I love about this, by the company, Jonathan bought it, I borrowed it. I really love about this is, like, I can't really show it right here, but it will, not on my hand of course, but it will, I'm gonna cut myself on the counter. Yeah, flat surface, travel razor, you don't need a stand. It's just sitting right there, sitting pretty. Didn't cut myself, but that was a stupid thing to do. All right, so let's get the Merica back and do the first side of the stash. Oh, obviously, weight is playing a big role in this shave right now. This is a nice, solid, stainless steel razor where gravity is very much on your side. It's got that balance point that I talked about in my review. I do wish the handle was just a little teeny bit longer, and normally that's not something I wish, but if it were just like a regular handle style, not this hourglass, it would be fine for me. But because your fingers gravitate, these things almost push it towards this. These little grooves almost push it, like, oh, boom, right there. I just wish there was maybe 1/4 of an inch more to it. I got to measure the handle to tell you how long it is, but that would be nice. And again, I don't have massive hands, but just with how I like to shave, I like to rest the pinky underneath just to kind of take that little bit of extra grip off of it and put that little extra bit of balance right there so that I'm letting the weight do the work. All right. Set you aside for a few minutes here. So yeah, aside from materials and the weight and everything, biggest difference, of course, is that the Merica comes in one style, one level of efficiency. Whereas I mentioned you can get 3 different levels of aggression or efficiency with the Henson. Not a big deal for me because I pretty much want the same level of aggression efficiency for every shave. But it might be something for you to think about. There might be a little hack, guys, little hack that we can do with the Merica that I might explore in an upcoming video if there's time. If you wanted to do a more aggressive version of it. But that's gimmicky. But could be fun. So different, obviously, because you're rocking a aluminum razor against a stainless steel. The weight difference there is. This razor is such an anomaly for me, which is almost a testament to how good it really is, the Henson, because normally I wouldn't bother with a light razor, but I prefer my razors to be a bit on the heavier side. But it just works so well. I mean, honestly, it's pretty even, but it might be a little closer on the Henson side, which is not what you'd expect when you're shaving. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this, and I will come back and do the against the grains and any pickups necessary, and then we'll talk about the final thoughts. And I did find in my review of the Merica that the against the grain did really shine, I felt like, compared to other razors I've used. For blade feel, I would, just because of, they're really, both razors are neutral blade feel. You don't feel a lot of blade. I'll compare this directly momentarily, but this is neutral blade feel. The gaps are where they do the change over on the Henson. So even though that says it's aggressive, it's an aggressive gray, it's plus, it's still, as far as I know, I can't remember, I'll have to look to confirm, but I know I did look at this recently. This is neutral blade. I think that Henson is too, and it's just the blade gaps that are different that make it more efficient, aggressive. But I'll double check. But yeah, this very minimal blade feel, yet I still enjoy it. It has just enough of that whatever Yatesy goodness to make me enjoy the shave still. This lather is insane today. Way better lather than I usually let you guys see when I do a video, isn't it? You're welcome. You're welcome. Remember, neutral blade does not mean you can't cut yourself. This is stupid of me what I'm doing right now. Getting away with it so far. But if there's a blade, you can get cut. Needed more on that side there. Oh well. Just gonna re-up this a bit. Not giving an advantage to the Henson. I'm just making sure this is nice and wet since I've been doing so much talking. All right, Henson. The against the grain with the Henson is where you're going to want to be very careful because you're going to be very tempted to push too hard. Trying to go very light. And if you're like me, you have very sensitive skin, you already have a propensity for getting, yes, stomach, I know we haven't eaten yet, for getting irritation on your neck, then, you know. Hopefully that was enough. That was gentle enough to help. They really are both just phenomenal razors. Very well made, very different, but very phenomenal. Yeah, damn. Like, I might have to get a Merica. We'll see. But then the Henson is just so nimble with that weight difference. I think we're gonna have a runoff. Maybe. We'll talk about them real quick. They really are quite even in the shave, and I do need to do kind of a pickup pass in this area. It's a heavier growth area for me. Obviously the goatee for most guys is pretty thick, but they're quite even, so it's just, yeah. It's gonna come down to preference. So if you were coming from the cartridge world and you just wanted to skip over getting a Merica or Edwin Jagger, I truly do believe the Henson is the cartridge killer. It's light. It's relatively attractive. I don't have a lot of experience using cartridges on my face. Like less than the average guy by a lot. But I can only imagine, just based on how many I've handled and how light they are, that this is going to feel more. And John said as much, so I don't want to take too much credit for this idea. JD said as much that the Henson is going to be more natural for the cartridge shaver to get used to compared to a traditional DE, because this angle is just so intuitive. You can't really do it any other way with how this head geometry is set up. Like, it's just so natural, so effortless. Yeah, that did it right there. That's nice. So if you started DEs and you're getting the gains of using a DE, maybe you were having issues with irritation, I mean, the expense, obviously, and everything, whatever. But if you're missing, like, the cartridge in a bad way, you're probably looking at the leaf razor, which is a little big for the face. And then Scott just did the high proof, which he didn't like. So, and that cost twice as much as getting a Henson. You drop $70. Maybe you get a medium just to find out where you're at. I don't know. I'm gonna probably try to use that medium here. But if you're using your first DE, but you're missing some of the elements of the cartridge, like, oh, I could do it so quickly, I didn't have to worry about the angle, but I'm not getting the irritation out, whatever, I would say you're gonna want to look at a Henson. Now, if you're really enjoying your you know, 34C, DE89 or whatever, but you're looking for something in stainless, it's made in America, that has even, you can even have the American flag on it. That's just a really nice pound for pound, like punching above its weight class razor. I don't know how this is only $70. Like, this is honestly better than some expensive razors I've used. In terms of value, this is an absolute steal at 70 bucks. What did I get myself, or is that irritation? I don't know. We'll find out. So yeah, if you want to double down on DE shaving the way you found it, get a heavier razor, get a solid razor, Merica, Wet Shaving Club. If you want to kind of go back to maybe like, oh, I shaved with the cartridge for so long, you know, it's just really hard for me to get used to using a double-edged razor. It's heavier, it's awkward, I can't get the angle right. This is where you want to spend your money. So for $70, I mean, I own this. I would gladly buy one of these. Like, if I see one of these used after Christmas and everything for the right price, I would probably do the as machine, because I'm not big on this stone wash. It's fine, but I kind of like the as machine look a little better. You know, I would jump on that too. So that's kind of where I have it. It's pretty even here, folks. So let's rinse one last time. So the only caveat I'll throw out there for this type of video is when you're literally splitting your face in half to battle two razors, are you ever gonna get, unless you're using like the Rex Consul and the Rex Ambassador, are you ever gonna get like a super even shave on both sides? Probably not. I mean, there are spots on my face where I know if I'd done things differently with the Henson, you know, whatever. You know, what I'm trying to say is basically this turned out being a lot more even than I expected. I think I would give... Wow. It's so even. Like, I expected the Henson to have home field advantage because I've used it more than once. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's just irritation from the other day. But maybe I'm gonna give a slight nod to the Henson in this area, surprisingly. But it's slight, like very slight. So, and again, home field advantage, I've used it more than twice. Could be the blade pairing and everything. I've only used a Persona in this razor. If I had it for longer, then I would use a couple different blades to try to figure out what I felt like paired well with it. I just feel like the Persona, I'm running low on silver blues. I gotta get more. And, which is my go-to blade for this kind of stuff, but I'm running low. And Persona, I feel like are pretty sharp. They're sharp enough for the most part. So, yeah. I don't want to say it's dead heat. I'd say give a slight nod to the Henson. Again, I have more experience with this than I do with its competitor over here. But like I said, you know, you understand where I'm going with this, I think. But yeah. All right. Well, as always, I'm gonna go do the post shave off camera. We're gonna call that a shave. I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you next time.